And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus says Yahuwah, Let my people go, that they may serve me. And if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite your borders with frogs, and the rivers shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into your house, and into your bedchamber, and upon your bed, and into the house of your servants, and upon your people, and into your ovens, and into your kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on you, and upon your people, and upon your servants. And Yahuwah spoke unto El Moshe, saying, Say unto El Aaron, Stretch forth your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause the frogs to come up upon the land of Mizraim. And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Mizraim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mizraim. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up the frogs upon the land of Mizraim. Then Pharaoh called for Moshe and Aaron, and said, Entreat El Yahuwah that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto Yahuwah. And Moshe said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me, when shall I entreat for you, and for your servants, and for your people, to destroy the frogs from you and from your houses, that they may remain over the river, in the river only? And he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Be it according to your word, that you may know that there is none like unto Yahuwah Eloheinu. And the frogs shall depart from you, and from your houses, and from the servants, and from your people, and they shall remain in the river only. And Moshe and Aaron went out from Pharaoh. And Moshe cried unto El Yahuwah because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yahuwah did according to the word of Moshe. And the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite, he hardened his heart again, and hearkened not unto them as Yahuwah had said. And Yahuwah said unto El Moshe, Say unto El Aaron, Stretch out your rod, and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Mizraim. And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod, and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout the land of Mizraim. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there were lice upon man and upon beasts. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of Elohim. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as Yahuwah had said. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, Raise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he comes forth to the water, and say unto him, Thus says Yahuwah, Let my people go, that they may serve me. Else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon you, and upon your servants, and upon your people, and into your houses. And the houses of the Mitzrayim shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are. And I will sever in that day the land of Goshen, and in which my people dwell, that no swarms of flies shall be there, to the end that you may know that I am Yahuwah in the midst of the earth. And I will put a division between my people and your people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. And Yahuwah did so. And there came a grievous swarm of flies into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Mizraim. And the land was corrupted by reasons of the swarm of flies. And Pharaoh called for Moshe and for Aaron, and said, Go ye, sacrifice to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, It is not meet to do so, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Mitzrayim to Yahuwah Eloheinu. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Mitzrayim before their eyes? And will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to Yahuwah Eloheinu as he shall command us. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go that you may sacrifice to Yahuwah Eloheka in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me. And Moshe said, Behold, I go out from you, and I will entreat El Yahuwah that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully anymore in not letting the people go to sacrifice to Yahuwah. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahuwah, and Yahuwah did according to the word of Moshe. And he removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, and neither would he let the people go. Luke. So we're at Luke 4. And Yahusha, being full of the Ruach HaKodesh, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Ruach into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered. And the devil said unto him, If you be the Son of Elohim, command this stone that it may be made bread. And Yahusha answered him, saying, It is written, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Elohim. And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give you, and the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and whomsoever I will give it. If you therefore will worship me, all shall be yours. And Yahusha answered and said unto him, Get behind me, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship Yahuwah Eloheka, and him only shall you serve. And he brought him to Jerusalem, and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If you be the Son of Elohim, cast down yourself from hence. For it is written, He shall give his angels charge over you to guard you, and in their hands they shall bear you up, lest at any time you dash your foot against a stone. And Yahusha answered and said unto him, It is said, You shall not tempt Yahuwah Eloheka. And when the devil had ended all the temptations, he departed from him for a season. And Yahusha returned in the power of the Ruach into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath, and stood up for to read. And there was delivered unto him the Sefer of the prophet Yeshayahu. And when he had opened the Sefer, he found the place where it was written, The Ruach Adonai Yahuwah is upon me, because he has anointed me to preach the Basora to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of Yahuwah. And he closed the sefer, and he gave it again to the minister and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him. And he began to say unto them, This day is the scripture fulfilled in your ears. And all bore him witness and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, Is this not Joseph's son? And he said unto them, Ye will surely say unto me this proverb, Physician, heal yourself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do ye also in your country. And he said, I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country. But I tell you of a truth, many widows were in Yasharel in the days of Eliyahu, when the heavens were shut up for 3 years and 6 months, when great famine was throughout all the land. But unto none of them was Eliyahu sent, save unto Sarephareth, a city of Sidon, unto a woman that was a widow. And many lepers were in Yasharel in the time of Elisha the prophet, and none of them was cleansed, saving Naaman the Arami. And they all in the synagogue, when they heard these things, were filled with wrath, and rose up and thrust him out of the city, and led him unto the brow of the hill whereon their city was built, that they might cast him down headlong. But he, passing through the midst of them, went on his way, and came down to Capernaum, a city of Galilee, and taught them on the Shabbats. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. And in the synagogue there was a man who had a ruach of an unclean devil, and cried out with a loud voice, saying, Let us alone. What have we to do with you, Yahusha the Netzari? Why are you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of Elohim. And Yahusha rebuked him, saying, Hold your peace and come out of him. And the devil had thrown him into the midst. He came out of him and hurt him not. And they were all amazed and spoke among themselves, saying, What a word this is, for with authority and power he commands the clean ruach. And they came out. And the fame of him went out into every place of the country round about. And he arose out of the synagogue and entered into Shimon's house. And Shimon's woman's mother was taken with a great fever, and they besought him for her. And he stood over her and rebuked the fever, and it left her. And immediately she arose and ministered unto them. Now, when the sun was setting, all they that had been sick with divers diseases brought them unto him. And he laid his hands on every one of them and healed them. And devils also came out of many, crying out and saying, You are Mashiach, the son of Elohim. And he, rebuking them, suffered them not to speak, for they knew that he was Mashiach. And when it was day, he departed and went into a desert place. And the people sought him and came unto him and stayed him, and that he should not depart from them. And he said unto them, I must preach the kingdom of Elohim to other cities also, for therefore am I sent. And he preached in the synagogues of Galilee. Romans. Romans 8. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Mashiach Yahusha, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For the Torah of the Ruach, Kayim, the spirit of life, in Mashiach Yahusha has made me free from the law of sin and death. For what was impossible under the law for the flesh to do, Elohim did in sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh, that the righteousness of the Torah might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Ruach. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Ruach, the things of the Ruach. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim, for it is not subject to the Torah of Elohim, neither indeed can it be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach. If so be that the Ruach Elohim dwell in you. Now, if any man has not the Ruach Mashiach, he is not his. And if Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness. But if the Ruach of him that raised up Yahusha from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Ruach that dwells in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Ruach do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. For as many as are led by the Ruach Elohim, they are the sons of Elohim. For ye have not received the Ruach of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the Ruach Aimatz, the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. The Ruach itself bears witness with our Ruach that we are the children of Elohim. And if children, then heirs, heirs of Elohim and joint heirs with Mashiach. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be glorified also together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waits for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into glorious liberty of the children of Elohim. For we know that the whole creation groans and travails in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man sees, why does he yet hope for it? But if we hope for what we do not see, then do we with patience wait for it. Likewise, the Ruach also helps our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought, but the Ruach itself makes intercession for us. The Ruach itself, himself makes intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered. And he that searches the hearts knows what the mind of the Ruach is, because he makes intercession for the Kodashim, according to the will of Elohim. And we know that all things work together for the good of those that love Elohim, to them that are called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predetermine to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, whom he did predetermine, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. What shall we then say to these things? If Elohim be for us, who can be against us? He that spared not his own Son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? Who shall lay anything to the charge of Elohim's elect? It is Elohim that justifies. Who is he that condemns? It is Yahushua HaMashiach that died, yea, rather, that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of Elohim, who also makes intercession for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Mashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? As it is written, for your sake we are killed all the day long. We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loves us. For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Elohim, which is in Mashiach Yahusha, our Adonai. Hallelujah. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach. Sirach 23. O Yahuwah, Father and Governor of all my whole life, leave me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over my heart, that they spare me not for my ignorance, and it pass not by my sins? Lest my ignorances increase, and my sins abound to my destruction, and I fall before my adversaries, and my enemies rejoice over me, whose hope is far from your mercy. O Yahuwah, Father and Elohim of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from your servants always a haughty mind. Turn away from me vain hopes and lustings, and you shall hold him up that is desirous always to serve you. Let not the greediness of the belly nor the lust of the flesh take a hold of me, and give not over me, your servant, into a impudent mind. Hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keeps it shall never be taken in his lips. The sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby. Accustom not your mouth to swearing, neither use yourself to the naming of the Holy One. For as a servant that is continually beaten shall not be without a blue mark, so he that swears and names Elohim continually shall not be faultless. A man that uses much swearing shall be filled with iniquity, and the plague shall never depart from his house. If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him, and if he acknowledges not his sin, he makes a double offense. And if he swears in vain, he shall not be innocent, but his house shall be full of calamities. There is a word that is clothed about with death. Elohim, grant that it be not found in the heritage of Yaakov. For all such things shall be far from the righteous, and they shall not wallow in their sins. Use not your mouth to interpret swearing, for therein is the word of sin. Remember your father and your mother when you sit among great men. Be not forgetful before them. And so you by your custom become a fool, and wish that you had not been born, and curse the day of your nativity. The man that is accustomed to opprobrious words will never be reformed all the days of his life. Two sorts of men multiply sin, and the third shall bring forth wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire. It shall never be quenched till it be consumed. A fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease until he has kindled a fire. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off until he dies. A man that breaks wedlock, saying in his heart, who sees me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody sees me. What I need to fear? El Elyon will remember my sins. El Elyon will not remember my sins. Such a man only fears the eyes of men, and knows not that the eyes of Yahuwah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. He knew all things ever that they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspects not, he shall be taken. Thus shall it go also with the woman that leaves her man and brings in an heir by another. For first, she has disobeyed the Torah of El Elyon, and secondly, she has trespassed against her own man, and thirdly, she has played the whore in breaking wedlock. Forgive us, Father Yahuwah. And brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the assembly, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of Yahuwah, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of Yahuwah. It is a great glory to follow Yahuwah, and to be received of him is long life. Wisdom of Solomon. It's getting dark out here. There we go. For great are your judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they, being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exiled from the eternal providence. For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. No power of the fire might give them light, neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. Only there appeared to them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the things that they saw not. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear worthy to be laughed at. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with the beasts that passed by, and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by their own witness is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasts grievous things. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the helps which reason offers, and the expectation from within being less counts the ignorance more than the cause which brings the torment. But they, sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of the inevitable shale, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted, their hearts failing them, for a sudden fear, and not looked for, came upon them. So then, whosoever there fell down was straitly kept shut up in a prison without iron bars. For whether he was a husbandman, or a shepherd, or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness. Whether it was a whistling wind, or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains, these things made them to swoon for fear. For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them only was spread a heavy night, an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. Proverbs. Did we do 21 last time? The king's heart is in the hand of Yahuwah. As the rivers of water, he turns it whithersoever he will. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but Yahuwah ponders the hearts. To do justice and judgment is more acceptable to Yahuwah than sacrifice. A high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty only to want. I read this last time, but I'll read it again. It's not like we can read it too much. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. The way of man is froward and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. It is better to dwell in the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scorner is punished, the simple is made wise, and when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. The righteous man wisely considers the house of the wicked, but Elohim overthrows the wicked for their wickedness. Whoso stops his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard. A gift in secret pacifies anger, and a reward in the bosom strong wrath. It is joy to the just to do judgment, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the assembly of the Rephaim. He that loves pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loves wine and oil shall not be rich. The wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the Yasharim. It is better to dwell in the wilderness than with a contentious and angry woman. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spends it up. He that follows after righteousness and mercy finds life, righteousness and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and casts down the strength of the confidence thereof. Whoso guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul from troubles. Proud and haughty scorner is his name who deals in proud wrath. The desire of the slothful kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. He covets greedily all the day long, but the righteous gives and spares not. The sacrifice of the wicked is abomination. How much more when he brings it with a wicked mind? A false witness shall perish, but the man that hears speaks constantly. A wicked man hardens his face, but as for the upright, he directs his way. There is no wisdom or understanding against Yahuwah. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is in Yahuwah. Hallelujah, it is so. We'll read a hymn. Usually perfect timing for one. Thou hast dealt wondrously with the poor one, to manifest thy might within me. In the presence of the sons of men, thou hast placed him in the melting pot, like gold in the fire, and like silver refined, in the melting pot of the smelters, to be purified 7 times. The wicked and fierce have stormed against me with their afflictions. They have pounded my soul all day. But thou, O my Yahuwah, hast changed the tempest to a breeze. Thou hast delivered the soul of the poor one, like a bird from the net, and like prey from the mouth of lions. I thank thee, and I bless thee, O Yahuwah, for you have not abandoned the fatherless or despised the poor. For although thy might is boundless and thy glory beyond measure, and wonderful heroes minister unto thee, yet have you done marvels among the humble in the mire underfoot, and among those eager for righteousness, causing all the well-loved poor to rise up together from the trampling. But I have been iniquity to those who contended with me, dispute and quarreling to my friends, wrath to the members of the covenant, and murmuring and protest to all my companions. All those who have eaten my bread have lifted their heel against me, and all those who have joined my counsel have mocked me with wicked lips. The members of my covenant have rebelled and murmured round about me. They have gone as talebearers before the children of mischief concerning the mystery which thou hast hidden in me, to show thy greatness through me, and because of their guilt. You have hidden the fountain of understanding and the counsel of truth. But they consider only the mischief of their heart. With devilish schemings they unsheath a perfidious tongue, from which ever springs the poison of dragons, like serpents which creep in the dust. So do they let fly their poisonous darts, viper's venom impossible to charm. And this has brought incurable pain, a malignant scourge within the body of thy servant, causing his spirit to faint and draining his strength so that he can hold his office no more. They have overtaken me in straits without any escape. There is no repose for my trial. They sound my censer upon a harp, and their murmuring and storming upon a zither. Anguish and suffering seize me, like the pains of a woman in travail. My heart is troubled within me. I am clothed in gloominess. And my tongue cleaves to the roof of my mouth. For I fear the mischief of their heart, and their inclination toward evil appears as bitterness before me. And the light of my face is dimmed to darkness, and my dignity is changed to blackness. For thou, O Yahuwah, did widen my heart, but they straighten it with affliction, and hedge me about with darkness. I eat the bread of wailing, and drink unceasing tears. Truly my eyes are dimmed by grief, and my soul by daily bitterness. Groaning and sorrow encompass me, and ignominy covers my face. My bread is turned into an adversary, and my drink into an accuser. It has entered my bones, causing my spirit to stagger and my strength to fail. According to the mysteries of sin, they change the works of Yahuwah by their transgression. Truly I am bound with unterrible ropes, and with unbreakable chains a thick wall fences me in. Iron bars and gates of bronze, my prison is counted with the abyss as being without any escape. The torrents of Satan have encompassed my soul, leaving me without deliverance. I think this is still 10. Yes. I have to come out here earlier. Thou hast unstopped my ears to the correction of those who reprove with justice. Thou hast saved me from the congregation of iniquity and from the assembly of violence. Thou hast brought me into the council and hast purified me of sin, into the council of the Spirit. I think These are from the parchment. So there's some pieces missing. But again, deep calls unto deep. And I know that there is hope for those who turn from transgression and for those who abandon sin and to walk without wickedness in the way of thy heart. I am consoled for the roaring of the peoples and for the tumult of kingdoms when they assemble. For in a little while I know, that you will raise up survivors among your people and a remnant within your inheritance. You will purify and cleanse them of their sin, for all their deeds are in thy truth. You will judge them in your great loving kindness and in the multitude of your mercies and in the abundance of your pardon, teaching them according to your word. You will establish them in your counsel according to the uprightness of your truth. You will do these things for your glory and for your own sake, to magnify the law and the truth, and to enlighten the members of your council in the midst of the sons of men, that they may recount your marvels for everlasting generations, and meditate unceasingly upon your mighty deeds. And all the nations shall acknowledge your truth, and all the peoples your glory. For you will bring your glorious salvation to all men of your council, to those who share a common lot with the angels of the face. Among them shall be no mediator to invoke thee, and no messenger to make reply for you. They will reply according to your great glorious word, and shall be thy princes in the company of the angels. They shall send out a bud forever like a flower of the fields, and shall cause a shoot to grow into the boughs of an everlasting plant. It shall cover the whole earth with its shadow, and its crown shall reach to the clouds. Its rocks shall go down to the abyss, and all the rivers of Eden shall water its branches. A source of light shall become an eternal, ever-flowing fountain, and in its bright flames all the sons of iniquity shall be consumed. It shall be a fire to devour all sinful men in utter destruction. They who bore the yoke of my testimony have been led astray by teachers of lies, and have rebelled against the service of righteousness, whereas you, O my Yahuwah, did command them. To mend their ways by walking in the way of holiness, where no man goes who is uncircumcised or unclean or violent. They have staggered aside from the way of your hearts and languished in great wretchedness. A counsel of Satan is in their heart, and in accordance with their wicked design they wallow in sin. I am as a sailor in a ship amid furious seas. Their waves and all their billows roar against me. There is no calm in the whirlwind that I may restore my soul, no path that I may straighten my way on the face of the waters. The deeps resound to my groaning, and my soul has journeyed to the great gates of death. But I shall be as one who enters a fortified city, as one who seeks refuge behind a high wall unto deliverance. I will lean on your truth, O Yahuwah, for thou wilt set the foundations on rock, and the framework by the measuring cord of justice. The tried stones you will lay by the plumb line of truth, to build a mighty wall which shall not sway, and no man entering there shall stagger. For no enemy shall ever invade it, since its doors shall be doors of protection through which no man shall pass. Its bars shall be firm, and no man shall break them. No rabble shall enter in with their weapons of war until all the arrows of the war of wickedness have come to an end. And then at that time of judgment, the sword of Yahuwah shall hasten, and all the sons of his truth shall awake to overthrow wickedness. All the sons of iniquity shall be no more. The hero shall bend his bow. The fortress shall open unto endless space, and everlasting gates shall send out weapons of war. They shall be mighty from end to end of the earth. There shall be no escape for the guilty of heart in their battle. They shall be utterly trampled down without any remnant. There shall be no hope in the greatness of their might, no refuge for the mighty warriors. For the battle shall belong to the Most High, Elohim, Yahuwah. Hoist a banner, O you who lie in the dust. Raise up an ensign for the destruction of wickedness. O bodies gnawed by worms, the sinful shall be destroyed in the battles against the ungodly. The scourging flood, when it advances, shall not invade the stronghold. As for me, I am dumb. My arm is torn from its shoulder, and my foot has sunk in the mire. My eyes are closed by the spectacle of evil, and my ears by the crying of blood. My heart is dismayed by the mischievous design, for Satan is manifest in their evil inclination. All the foundations of my edifice totter, and my bones are pulled out of joint. My bowels heave like a ship in a violent tempest, and my heart is utterly distressed. A whirlwind engulfs me because of the mischief of their sin. I thank thee, O Yahuwah, for thou hast upheld me by thy strength. Thou hast shed thy Holy Spirit upon me that I may not stumble. Thou hast strengthened me before the battles of wickedness, and during all their disasters thou hast not permitted fear to cause me to desert thy covenant. Thou hast made me a strong tower, a high wall, and hast established my edifice upon rock. Eternal foundations serve for my ground, and all my ramparts are tried wall, which shall not sway. You have placed me, O Yahuwah, among the branches of the council of holiness. You have fortified my mouth in your covenant, and my tongue is like the tongue of those who are taught by thee. But the spirit of disaster is without a mouth, and all the sons of iniquity without a reply, for the lying lips shall be dumb. For thou wilt condemn in judgment all those who assail me, distinguishing through me between the just and the wicked. For you know the time, the whole intent of a creature. You discern every reply. You establish my heart on thy teaching and truth, directing my steps into the paths of righteousness, that I might walk before thee in the land of the living, into the paths of glory and infinite peace, which shall never end. For you know the inclination of your servant, that I have not relied upon the works of my hands to raise up my heart, nor have I sought refuge in my own strength. I have no fleshly refuge. And your servant has no righteous deeds to deliver him from the pit of unforgiveness. But I lean on the abundance of your mercies and hope for the greatness of your grace, that you will bring salvation to flower and the branch to growth, providing refuge in your strength and raising up my heart. For in your righteousness you have appointed me for your covenant, and I have clung to your truth and gone forward in your ways. You made me a father to the sons of grace, and a foster father to men of marvel. They have opened their mouths like little babes, like a child playing in the lap of his nurse. You have lifted my horn above those who insult me, and those who attack me sway like the boughs of a tree. My enemies are like chaff before the wind, and my dominion is over the sons of iniquity. For you have succored my soul, O my Yahuwah, and have lifted my horn on high. I shall shine in sevenfold light in the council appointed by you for your glory. For you are an everlasting heavenly light to me, and will establish my feet upon level ground forever and ever. It is so. Hallelujah. Praise you for your word, your bread of life, and your living water. Shalom.